about the nudge that's going on around paedophilia, I would say? You know, this notion of a minor attracted person. You know, why would authority be in the business of renaming a group as though to distance it and make a dichotomy between how they were regarded in the past and how they are supposed to be regarded?
Well, who is doing this? So, I mean...
Well, I don't know who came up with the acronym. I don't know who came up with minor attracted persons, but
the
nonetheless...
press are playing along with it, though. That's the thing. So now it's become the new speak.
I mean, the odd thing is that paedophilia, if by that you mean actual sexual activities with minors, is and should be against the law. Public opinion is strongly against it, and there have actually been panics about it. I mean, in 2000, when this happened, in the wake of various horrific murders. I mean, clearly that's a case where consent can't be given, and it's quite right to make it illegal.
As someone who watches and pays attention to notions like ethics and morality, do you think there is a shift going on in our society? I mean, that's what you could say, there's always a shift. It's like the weather. But is there a drift towards something more louche and towards something less defined?
It really depends where you're looking. There's a great danger of anecdotal reasoning with all these questions, looking at what you want to look at and not looking at the rest. I mean, I think earlier on you were discussing about morality in schools. Actually, I find the young people today, the ones I teach, more moralistic, if you like, in certain areas than they were when I was young. I mean, people are much more conscious of racism, for example, much more conscious of this sort of thing. These are moral questions. You know, whatever you think about what racism actually is and so on, and we can have lots of debates about that, those are moral questions. And I think when it comes to sexual morality, I mean, I think, you know, it's perfectly true that over the last 50 years there's been a shift in public attitudes towards, say, things like sex with people you're not married to. I mean, nobody was batting-eyed at that. And homosexuality. And I think on the whole that shift has been good. But there isn't a shift towards infidelity. People do actually balk when they think that people are being betrayed, or when minors are being exploited, for example, or people with less power are being exploited. There's actually a much greater moral awareness of those things. And, you know, to that extent, it's a good thing. It can go into overdrive, obviously, it often does.
Do you share that interpretation, you know, what Dr. Ben is saying about our youngsters being more moralistic in certain ways?
Yes, do you know, funny enough, I do. And I see the younger generation being very much more monogamous, and they've really got wonderful relationships. They've got real friendships in that relationship. No, it's true.
I mean, they can't afford their own homes either.
Well, no, they can't either. But no, I think they're kinder. But in a funny way, I find that came with the loss of the rise of feminism in that sort of thing, where it was all equal, which I kind of like. I felt a little bit sad. I love it. Neil's such a gentleman, he opens doors. And I kind of like rue the loss of that. But at the same time, it has brought about something very, very good, because they see themselves and they treat themselves as equal, so there isn't that difference in status, you know, sort of the male is superior to the female and so on. So that is a good thing. But do you think religion or the loss of religious studies in school has made a difference? Because I do. I think there's a whole whitewash now, because we have to be multicultural and all-inclusive.
What do you say, Doctor?
Well, I think we should be multicultural to the extent that we do live in a multi-faith society, although actually a society predominantly secular. And schools should teach what people actually believe. People should understand other people's beliefs. That is not relativism. That is not teaching that there's no right or wrong, or that every religion is equally true. I mean, that's clearly nonsense. And no liberal like me wants to defend that. But it's right that people should be taught tolerance, which means putting up with what you don't agree with, towards other cultures, other ways of life. On the general question of religion and morality, I mean, if the question is, do people behave better if they believe in religion, that's empirical. I don't think there's any evidence, actually, they do. In fact, some of the less religious countries, like Japan, Scandinavia, Czech Republic, these are very non-religious. There's no evidence of any increased crime. In fact, there's less.
Going to have to jump in there for a break, but thank you very much for a very even-handed,
thank you.
very open and even-handed debate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Fascinating. Thank you.
Dr. Piers Best.
Thank you.